Over the last few weeks, we've learned a lot more about Halloween the game, and honestly, it's starting to feel like Ilfonic and Gunn Interactive are trying to avoid some of the mistakes we've seen from previous asymmetrical horror games. The game launches on September 8th, 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Epic Game Store. Today, I want to talk about 5 features that have me the most excited. These features that could determine whether this game has long-term staying power or end up repeating the same problems we've seen in the genre. Let's start with the maps, because first impression matters. So far, we've seen Orange Grove Estates, Haddonfield Town Center, and Haddonfield Heights. And what immediately stands out is that each one appears to have its own gameplay identity. For example, Orange Grove Estates is built with multi-story homes in mind, giving survivors vertical escape options, including the ability to leap between balconies as a desperate last-second play. Meanwhile, Haddonfield Town Center looks much more populated and open, which could create a completely different experience where civilians, lighting, and map layout change how you approach Michael Myers. It's smarter than simply releasing a large number of similar environments. If these 3 maps all feel unique, they'll establish how Halloween is meant to be played before they start experimenting with future DLC maps. We've all played asymmetrical games, where 1 or 2 maps became everyone's least favorite. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, Graveyard Map comes to mind for many players. Hopefully, Halloween avoids that situation by building a strong foundation first. The next feature is probably the biggest surprise for me, the 6 chapters single player story mode. This is something we didn't get in Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game or Killer Clowns, and I think adding it immediately broadens the game's appeal. According to the developers, the campaign includes replayability through chapters, multiple difficulty settings, and challenge rewards, which also serving as a way to learn Michael Myers mechanics before jumping online. From my perspective, this feels similar to what Evil Dead the game had by attempting to give players content outside of multiplayer game modes. If the campaign delivers a fun experience, even players who aren't interested in competitive online matches now have another reason to buy the game. And if you enjoy Friday the 13th single player game mode, then there's a good chance this mode could scratch that itch as well. Another feature I really like is the progression system.
Progressive challenges for each of the different killer skins, as well as each of the different civilians. So each of those have a progressive steps to challenges, so you have to complete one to complete the next,
Instead of locking every cosmetic behind your wallet, the developers have confirmed that many rewards can be earned through gameplay challenges. That's a huge win, because it gives players something to work toward every time they log in. Sure, buying DLC may give some players early access, but if you're willing to put in the time, you can still unlock many of those rewards naturally, but at least the opportunity does exist. Personally, one thing I'm looking forward to the most is unlocking new executions for Michael Myers. Gunn Interactive did a great job making executions memorable and gory in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I'm hoping that same level of creativity carries over into Halloween. And before Halloween the game release, remember to hit one of those engagement buttons for me. I appreciate it. The 4th feature is the amount of content. The game will include 10 playable heroes, while Michael Myers launches with a possible max of 5 different skins, since Phantom Myers is only available if the game is pre-ordered. Most asymmetrical games launch with a much smaller roster, so having this many heroes immediately creates more replay value. Of course, the real challenge will be balance. Every hero should feel useful without becoming overpowered, because we've seen how already one broken ability can dominate the entire meta. If Ilfonic can keep those characters balanced while continuing to add more over time, that's going to be a great sign for the game's future. Finally, here's a hopeful bonus feature I'm really hoping the developers learn from Texas Chainsaw Massacre: players' profile progression level. I genuinely hope profile levels don't stop at level 99. Long-term progression is one of the easiest ways to keep players invested, even after they unlock most cosmetics. Whether it's that prestige levels, additional milestones, or simply raising the level cap significantly. Giving players something to chase months after launch will go a long way toward keeping the community active. We don't have confirmation on that yet, but it's definitely one of the features I'll be watching closely after release. Overall, I think Halloween the game is doing a lot of things right before launch. 3 unique maps, a dedicated single-player campaign, meaningful progression rewards, a healthy roster of heroes and Myers skins, and hopefully a deeper long-term progression system, all point to a game that's trying to learn from the successes and failures of previous asymmetrical horror titles. Now, the biggest question is whether all of these systems come together once players finally get their hands on the game this September. Let me know which of these 5 features you're most excited about. And if there's something else you think make Halloween the game even better, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. remember to subscribe. Welcome to Mr. Unleashed World.